G'day viewers, the end of another week means it's time for Totally Fucked Up Friday. And honestly, I was going to do stuff apart from the Australian government, but they keep providing me with material and the viewers keep enjoying me going on at length about how fucked the Australian government is. And I swear, I'm actually just culling it. Of all the things I could have talked about the Australian government, I'm culling it down to a few things. There are lots of stuff around the world, but I'm sorry, I live here in Australia and I see this shit. I'm not even touching on the burqa shit that's been happening in Israel. Burn the burqa! And they're not even talking about the burqa. They're talking about the niqab. I might do a separate video on the different forms of clothing that some Muslim women wear. But I'm not even going to touch on that. There was so much other stuff. I want to start with Liberal National Party politician from Queensland, which is Australia's Florida, as I always make a point of saying. Now, he said the government policy of not letting unemployed people get any unemployment benefits for the first 6 months of being unemployed is totally fucking ace. Now, you know, vaguely decent people have said, that's more than a tad fucked. But he said, no, you know what? Because if we let them have unemployment benefits, they'll just sit on their ass, eat Cheezels, and play Xbox. I mean, those were his actual words. His name's Ewan Jones, and you look at him, and you go, yeah, you know a bit about eating Cheezels and sitting on your ass, don't you, buddy? Speaking also as someone who knows quite a bit from first-hand experience of eating snack foods and lounging around and doing nothing, this guy is a fairly serious piece of shit. Like, he's down on people getting unemployment benefits, whereas he, as a poly, gets over $100 a day meal allowance. It's really, this is what fucking does my head in. These people go, oh yeah, okay, sure, the young unemployed are among the most disadvantaged people in the world, well, in our economy, in our country, and yeah, sure, me as a poly, I have hundreds of thousands of dollars at my disposal. Oh, and I get $100 a day meal allowance, but I think I'll shit all over the people who have the least. I think I'll make them so fucking scared they will never say boo to a boss again. They will take a job down a mine 1,000 miles from their nearest family member. They will pick fruit for 50 cents an hour because I will fuck their life up if they dare to question this grand and glorious plan. I swear, these people are like the worst people on earth. And it's not just the unemployed who are suffering under this government. It's scientists. The government science authority, the CSIRO, I won't even try and remember what that acronym stands for. But among other things, these are the guys who invented Wi-Fi, okay? You fucking owe these people. Australian scientists invented Wi-Fi, okay? You fucking owe them. And they're just being fucked over. Scientists who've been working in the field for ages have lost their jobs. I have friends personally who did science degrees at uni because, you know, do science, don't do anything artsy, and they will never get a job because of the amount of scientists who are out of work. This government's policies are just making this country fucking stupid. But anyway, I want to talk about a guy I've talked about before, our Prime Minister's chief business advisor. That'd be one thing if this guy stuck to business. His name's Maurice Newman, but he's got this obsession. He's a global warming denier. Okay? He's a climate change denier. And he makes up shit that simply isn't real. I've talked before about his obsession with making up shit like global cooling. Gee, you're worried about global warming. What about global cooling? It's not a fucking thing, okay, mate? Shut the fuck up. And in the last week or two, he's been mouthing off about, oh, the Bureau of Meteorology, they've been making stuff up. Oh, they've been fudging temperature data to fit this fiction of climate change. Like, okay, dude, even without the Australian Bureau of Meteorology, climate scientists around the world, 95% of them are sure humans are causing climate change. You know, the most recent study showed that it's like 1 in 100,000 chance that the rise in temperatures is not caused by humans. You know, it's essentially we're fucked and we're doing it ourselves. But he's got about, oh no, they're temperature data. They do this thing called normalizing, which means faking. It's like, dude, it's science. And I get that you don't understand science. But as any rational person would say, well, if the scientists are doing stuff you don't understand, you should maybe shut the fuck up. This guy goes on, oh no, we've got to investigate because they're normal. You see, when the Bureau of Meteorology takes temperatures around the city, they allow for things like heat sinks, wind, what's exposed to sun, what's exposed to shade. It's called science, you dense motherfucker. And he's obsessed that it's a conspiracy. And it isn't, but that won't stop him. And I will repeat, this is our Prime Minister's senior advisor in business. And he's talking absolute shit. Okay? Here's the thing, Abbott, with this fuckwit spouting this shit. If you let him keep doing it, you are tacitly endorsing his shit. If you don't cut this fuckwit loose and go, okay, the guy's a fuckwit, no one should listen to him, then you're endorsing what he fucking says, okay? This guy is a fucking lunatic and needs to be gone. But then again, our Prime Minister is a fucking lunatic who needs to be fucking gone. Oh my god, and just randomly, another member of the government who has been a fucking lunatic this week. Scott Morrison, the guy who's responsible for our Stop the Boats policy. And I just can't get over the combination of racism and ignoring the actual truth that's involved in this policy. But what's come up? They're all going to stop the boats. No one's allowed to land in Australia. We're going to put them in a fucking prison camp, an internment camp in Papua New Guinea. And it's like kids, women, men, people who are fleeing persecution and war. We're going to treat them so fucking badly that going back to a war zone seems preferable. I'm not even joking. Morrison has made videos going, we're going to make your life so fucking miserable, no matter what your home country's like, you would prefer to go back there. These are people who are facing torture. These are people whose homes have been destroyed. They're in a war-torn country. And the Australian government has gone, we're going to be so fucked to you that you will prefer to go back to your shithole country. And it's like, oh, international conventions be buggered. But even worse, what's come out in the last week or so, that there is sexual abuse going on in the camps in Nauru, sexual abuse of children, of women. People are saying, like the guards are saying to us, oh, you want to shower longer than 2 minutes? Then just get all your gear off in front of us and parade in front of us, or we won't let you have showers. There are formal allegations of child sexual abuse. So what has the minister responsible, Scott Morrison, done? He said, well, okay, I'll give you a hint. See, people who deal with sexual abuse, particularly child sexual abuse, say that when an allegation is raised, you should do a few key things. You should believe the person raising the allegation, you should protect them, and you should get an independent review. What has Scott Morrison said? Well, Scott Morrison has gone public and said he believes they're making it up. Like the worst possible thing you can say. And it's like a non-profit that's designed to protect children, when they spoke up and said children are being sexually abused, Scott Morrison has gone. He hasn't said, oh, they're designed to protect children, they're doing their job. He's going, no, they're activists. It's bad that this group, whose reason for existing is protecting children, has spoken up about protecting children. That's apparently a bad thing in Scott Morrison's book. It's just like, you look at this guy and you just go, okay, you profess all these beliefs and you say, oh, you're a Christian and decent person, and you are categorically trying to put people in a living hell that is worse than a war zone, that it's worse than being tortured in their own country. You're really fucking lucky that your views of religion and God and whatnot are fucking fairy tales, because you would be burning in hell for eternity for the bullshit you are doing. And this is like top to bottom in this fucking government at the moment, and it blows my mind. I saw the best summary for the problem of what's happening here with this toadying fucking conservative media backing up this shit our government and particularly our Prime Minister comes with. The short version is, this is what happens. The Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, starts a fire. Then he throws petrol on the fire. Then when the fire is almost out of control, he runs in and extinguishes the fire. And the toadying fucking media going, isn't it awesome how he put out that fire?